The Kenworth 600, known as the Anteater, isn't the most conventional or aesthetically pure American bonnet truck. Its production lasted less than 30 years, making it difficult to consider it a legend on par with the T2000. However, this 8th-class vehicle, which emerged after the fuel crisis and survived the 1980s, 1990s, and the turn of the century, is considered a groundbreaking model in both Kenworth's history and the New World truck industry. Compared to the classic models of the 1960s and 1970s, the 600 may seem ordinary today. However, commercial vehicles are primarily designed for profitability, and from this perspective, the 600 represented a true revolution in its segment. Welcome to a new video. Today we'll analyze the Kenworth 600, an innovation in the transportation industry. If you enjoy this type of content, subscribe to our channel. It's free. Now, let's begin. Origin and aerodynamic development following the 1973 fuel crisis. The trucking industry's need to reduce fuel consumption became clear. This led to two main approaches: improved powertrains and aerodynamic research. Since Kenworth, like most American truck manufacturers, relied on third-party engines, the decision was made to improve the cab's aerodynamic characteristics, particularly for the U900 model. Research indicated that, at highway speeds, the U900 used approximately two-thirds of its power to overcome air resistance. Aerodynamic research began in 1976. It was an unexplored field with little prior experience, so the results weren't immediate. The University of Washington wind tunnel was crucial, as computer modeling was still in its early stages. Kenworth engineers and designers spent 7 years creating a truck model with improved aerodynamics, and the effort paid off. The cab configuration with a sloping hood achieved fuel savings of over 20% compared to the conventional straight-nose configuration, with minimal hardware changes. Aerodynamics were also optimized with redesigned fenders that integrated with skirts covering the fuel tanks. As a result, at highway speeds with a full load, the aerodynamic advantages allowed the tractor to operate with an engine 100 horsepower less powerful than conventionally designed trucks. This was a significant achievement with a low production cost per vehicle. Innovations and initial reception. Another important innovation was the relocation of the front axle closer to the rear bogie, which reduced the turning circle by almost 25% compared to the standard T900. Furthermore, a modified suspension improved ride comfort and smoothness. The new 600 mainline tractor was officially introduced to dealerships in 1985, where it initially received mixed reactions. Its aesthetics differed markedly from industry standards. The sloping hood and low bumper were not immediately to everyone's liking. Precisely because of the unusual hood design, the 600 earned the nickname Anteater. However, as one dealer representative noted, the aerodynamic advantages of the 600 were so obvious that those who ignored this innovation were inevitably put out of business. The 600, without exaggeration, transformed the American truck industry. Early users experienced firsthand that the 600's diesel consumption, depending on operating conditions, was 10 to 15% lower than that of standard hood-mounted heavy-duty trucks. By the end of 1985, sales of the model represented 40% of Kenworth's total production. Each 600 generated annual fuel savings of $3,000 to $4,000 with a mileage of 200,000 kilometers. For large trucking companies with fleets of hundreds of these vehicles, the total savings amounted to millions of dollars. The engine offering was relatively simple. A 12-liter Cummins 6-cylinder turbo diesel with power outputs ranging from 370 to 450 HP, or a 14.9-liter Cummins that could reach up to 600 HP. In the second half of the 1990s, more advanced Caterpillar powertrains were added. Model evolution: 600A and 600B in 1990. An improved version. The 600A was introduced, where designers continued to refine the aerodynamics. The shape of the mirror fairings and radiator grille was modified, and the windshield, which previously consisted of two flat segments, was replaced with either a panoramic or two curved ones. The Aerodyne bunk from the 1970s was replaced by the next generation, the Aerodyne II, which also offered greater aerodynamic efficiency. An electronic instrument panel developed jointly with Boeing was also offered as an option. The next milestone in the model's life was the 600B, launched in 1995. The main innovation was the new 182-centimeter Aerocab sleeper cab. This was fully integrated with the cabin, creating an almost room-like space with a completely flat floor and a roof height of 210 centimeters. The T600B was offered with 4x2 or 6 four-wheel configurations, and the model line included versions with gross vehicle weights from 15 to 27.5 tons or 84 tons as part of a road train. Diesel engine power ranged from 334 to 608 horsepower. Over the course of more than 2 decades, more than 108,000 units of the T600 model were produced in various configurations. Kenworth was recognized with the U.S. Department of Transportation's National Award for Vehicle Research and Development. The T2000 Experiment in 1996, Kenworth introduced what it called the next generation hood truck, the T2000. This new mainline tractor, with a wedge-shaped hood and 32-degree rake, represented the pinnacle of advanced design, incorporating innovative solutions and technologies. The cab frame was made of aluminum shavings, providing strength and lightness. The body elements were manufactured from SMC molding material, 40% lighter than fiberglass. Rivets were eliminated from the body surface, replaced by adhesive bonds. The fuel tanks and radiator grille were lighter and made of polished aluminum. The vehicle was equipped with ABS and ASR systems, and a unique 8-cylinder air suspension that offered a smooth ride. Furthermore, the cabin and sleeper were luxuriously appointed, with ergonomic seats, 3-point seat belts, airbags, an electronic self-diagnosis system, a microwave oven, a personal computer, a television, an audio system, satellite communications, cruise control, and air conditioning. The T2000 was aimed at private owners who spared no expense in equipping their trucks. However, despite record-breaking performances of modified versions in Pikes Peak races, sales were weak. The problem was not so much the rejection of advanced aerodynamic bio-design, but that many T2000 body panels, such as spoilers and body kits, while lightweight, were too removable. In theory, this would make them easier and cheaper to replace. But in practice, at high speeds, the T2000 body vibrated and shook, raising concerns among drivers about panel separation. As a result, sales were poor, and the model was quietly discontinued in 2010. Nonetheless, the T2000 became another significant model for Kenworth in improving the aerodynamic and performance characteristics of bonnet trucks. Additionally, the T2000 tested and then implemented an extended service interval of 25,000 miles, 40,000 kilometers, while other manufacturers offered 10,000 to 15,000 miles. The T600 legacy and recent developments. Meanwhile, in 2008, the classic Kenworth T600 ceased production, being replaced by the T660. This new model was technically similar to its predecessor, but offered a more modern design, with smoother contours that served its aerodynamic function and were more in line with 2010's cargo design trends. Its creation utilized extensive computer modeling and wind tunnel simulation techniques. Along with the updated exterior design, the interior of the Aerodyne and Aerocab cabs and sleepers was improved, available in lengths from 96 to 208 centimeters. In 2016, the T660 was replaced by the newer T680, which remains in production. In addition to traditional diesel versions, a fully electric version is available with either 470 or 605 horsepower and a range of 320 kilometers. Australian versions of the T600. It's worth mentioning the Australian versions of the T600 series trucks. Until the end of the 20th century, they existed in the same format as the North American ones, but then went their own way. In 1998, the T604 model was introduced with a unique radiator grille design, developed for local operating conditions, including high temperatures. This vehicle was equipped with an improved cooling system for the available engines, the most powerful being a 15.8-liter Cummins with 600 horsepower. In addition, the T604 trucks featured an advanced collision avoidance system that utilized an external camera, infrared sensors, and radar. Currently, Kenworth Australia offers 3 models of 600 series heavy-duty trucks: the T620, 620 SAR, and 659. Although the original T600 may not have been the standard for an American heavy-duty truck in the classic sense, this model not only revolutionized the trucking industry, but also served as a benchmark for competitors to aspire to for many years, forcing them to make extraordinary efforts to stay in demand. For Kenworth, the original T600 marked the beginning of its modern history, during which advanced ideas and products were born and developed, such as the SuperTrack 2 diesel hybrid with an average fuel consumption of just 19 liters per 100 kilometers. we've reached the end of this video. Comment in the comments, like the video, subscribe, and tap the bell to enjoy future videos like this one. See you next time.